What's good, college football gamers? My name is Fenler, and it's my honor to be presented today by the EA Sports Creator Network for this early access College Football 25 video. Keep in mind that everything you see here today has been captured on a pre-release build and is indeed still a work in progress. For this video, I want to take a closer look at some of the things you should be considering for a successful run game in College Football 25. With 134 new ways to play, the tote is so back, and I'm trying to equip you with the knowledge you need to dominate. Let them find run defense. I hope you enjoy. One of the things I'm most excited for in College Football 25 is that I have 134 ways to play football. My favorite, of course, as a former offensive lineman, is toting that rock, running the football, and I feel like it gets a bad rap sometimes. Somehow is brain dead, especially from you passing types, and I'm hearing you out. If it's behind 17 vanguards, close your eyes, smash forward on the joystick, and call it football. I get it, but running in its best form, and I think the form it's taking here in College Football 25 is actually very cerebral. Important things are important. Hat count, leverage, how the defense is responding to your motions, and I feel like understanding all of these in conjunction can really help set you up with some great situations and opportunities for yardage in the run game. I wanted to show you specifically a couple of the things I look at when I'm setting up my offense in hopes that it helps you set up yours. Just to show that a lot of this is conceptual and you don't necessarily need a ratings advantage to make it work, I'm going to load in against Ohio State, one of the best defensive fronts in the game, with my hometown heroes, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, a lower rated team, but it's not going to matter when we can make the defense respond to what we're doing, learn from that, and be effective and efficient from there. Check it out. So the particular power option I'm going to show you is in Liberty's offensive playbook, but you're going to be able to find, if not indeed the exact same play, concepts just like it across so many of these 134 different playbooks we have access to, but this specific one will be pistol strong, power option, and defensively, I'm going to put Ohio State in a pretty good situation to stop the run. We'll have them scroll through 4-4 plays. They'll give us some man, they'll give us some zone. So hopefully we'll be able to see how the defense responds in either case, what we can learn from that response, and how to set ourselves up with a numbers advantage depending on what we see. I think one of the first and most important things to consider when you're setting up really any run fit is whether or not you have a numbers advantage to where you're trying to get the football. In this case, the defense is in an even front, so it makes the math very easy. Even front is just to say they have the same amount of defensive personnel to the left and right side of the football. So it makes hat count pretty simple. If we look to the left, we have our center, guard, and tackle to deal with their defensive tackle, defensive end, linebacker, and in this case, though he's not specifically a box defender, the outside linebacker is a threat to our outside play as well. We have 3 offensive players to deal with their 4 defensive threats. Not a good play to run it outside left. Let's see if I'm right or wrong. Still trying to make a play. Number 5 gets line of scrimmage. And that feels like justice. You love it when a plan comes together. By contrast, if we look to the right side of the football, we have added, of course, our tight end and our fullback. And they still have the same 4 defensive threats. So now we have the same center, guard, tackle 3, plus tight end is now 4 to deal with their 4, and a fullback as somebody who you can consider free. He is our advantage. He is our numbers advantage to the play, running outside right in this situation. Obviously much better, and a good play there by number 5. Your further consideration is to whether or not you could create a numbers advantage for yourself. Good way to do that is to utilize motion. In this formation, we have a few players that we could put in motion. The Z receiver, who I have highlighted here, is the receiver who is off the line of scrimmage, and thus, because he's off the line of scrimmage, can motion. The X receiver, in this case, to the left side of the screen on the football, cannot motion because he's on the football and last on the line. So we'll put our Z in motion and see how the defense responds. In this case, we see the defender reduce down, but does not follow Miller all the way across the formation. In this case, we've now negated our numbers advantage, given a responsibility to the fullback, and running the rock back to the right is no longer going to be our best play. Instead, let's get Miller back over and see if we can create a leverage advantage. When we send him, as soon as he crosses the tight end's outside foot and we see the defender start to get his width again, we're going to snap the football and see if we can get this thing back outside to the right. Snap it as soon as he gets there. So now we've set up a leverage advantage for us. Hold that block there. And still, though not glamorous, a 6-yard gain. Rutgers against Ohio State's strongest side and strongest defensive end. Let's see what type of look they give us here. Same check motion. It's going to be zone again. Play is going to be still to the right side to our numbers advantage. Make something shake then. 16. Here you go, QB. I'm hoping they give us a man look here because that introduces another consideration I want to talk about, and perfect timing. There it is. So we can tell now, and we're going to go ahead through the motion so you'll be able to see it yourself. The defensive player is going to follow Miller all the way across the formation, which lets us know at least he, but very likely the rest of the defense as well, is in a man coverage. I still love outside here because here's what we've done. We haven't impacted our numbers advantage at all. We've traded one of ours for one of theirs. The one of ours being a receiver, not necessarily going to be known for run blocking capability. Theirs being a defensive back who in this case has a star and certainly enough agility and speed to make a play on our guy number 5. So we've traded a good 1-for-1, created a ton of open field that we didn't have before. So in this case, being able to move out, we don't need to bring him back across the formation. Nice open space and open field to the play side there in that space that we created, and you're in a pretty good situation. So we'll keep this short and sweet. First order of business is check your hat count. Can you influence where your advantage is with motion? Let's see what type of coverage they're in here. Man again. We know because he's going all the way across the formation. We'll snap into that open space. And certainly not going to shoot 100%, but you can see that if we're hitting our blocks there, we're going to be all right. Couple more looks. So so now, we know they're in zone, and we know that we have a disadvantage to the left side of the screen, mostly because of that outside linebacker. What we can do in this situation, send the wide receiver all the way across, have our option flipped now, there it is, to the left side of the screen, and if you want to get real nasty, passers, cover your ears. Miller's not necessarily going to have a size advantage over an outside linebacker, so if we're going to get nitty-gritty and talk about personnel here, if you really want to commit to the tote, which I know I will be doing, that can be a tight end. Split out wide. So in this case, while we have Miller, the wide receiver, if you had subbed in a tight end, you're not even giving away a personnel disadvantage, and you're recovering even numbers to the play that you flipped. Can we get outside? We can. Nice little play by 16, and you love when a plan comes together. So just a few things I thought you might consider as to being successful specifically here with a power option, but really just in the run game in general. Obviously, we only showed it against one defense here. It's going to take a lot of time and effort to break down how each defense will respond to the different motions we can do. Don't forget, you're also capable of motioning your fullback for this play or your tight end. Another thing you should consider when you're setting up your run fits, where can your motions come from? Keep in mind, the X receiver, generally you will not be able to move, but in a couple formations, you can do some creative things. Check for your numbers advantage, check for your hat count, keep in mind where you want to get the football, and get to toting. Try to make some good decisions. And I'll run this a couple times, show you guys some highlights, but I hope you learned something here. Enjoy. Happy toting, and remember, if they can't find run defense, that's their problem.